Hello, everybody. Uh, we're just going to go ahead and get started. My
Okay.
name is Cynthia White. I'm the president of Oak Park Estates Neighborhood Association, and we want to thank Mr. I've already forgotten how to say the last name, Daredia.
Daredia, yep, that's perfect.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for accepting this meeting with us, with the neighbors. We are recording the meeting. We'll probably post it on our Facebook page so our neighbors can see it.
Okay.
And if you could start out, if everybody wants to go around the room and just introduce themselves. I know you've already started. Uh, so if we'll just do that one more time, we'll start with Alyssa up in the corner.
Sure, my name is Alyssa Senkov, and I'm one of the residents of Oak Park Estates neighborhood, and I'm also the secretary of our neighborhood association.
I'm Tom Forsyth. I'm the District 4 representative on the City Plan Commission and also the past president of the Oak Park Estates Neighbor Association. Thank you for allowing me to join and listen in.
Well, I'll go next. I'm Mary Harrison, and I'm a resident, longtime resident of Oak Park Estates.
I'm Leyland Sawyer. I'm a new resident of Oak Park Estates.
Welcome, Layla.
Thank you.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome, thank you. My name is Ariel. I live in Glen Oaks. I'm in the communications committee in Glen Oaks Neighborhood Association, and I'm co-vice president-elect for Neighborhoods for Heritage Oak Cliff. Thanks for the invite.
Mm-hmm.
And Paul is muted, but she is, I think, introduced herself earlier. And I think Sylvia, you said you were.
Yes, my name is Sylvia Meza. I worked for Shani Daredia for almost 4 years. I used to work at the Fox there that was there before with the owners that started it for like about 10 years.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Sylvia.
No problem.
And then, yeah, last but not least, I'm Shani Daredia. I currently run and operate Super Fuels gas stations with my brother and my dad. And we currently have 3 locations, and we currently have 3 more in essentially pre-construction in the city of Dallas, as well as a couple of other cities around DFW.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you for agreeing to meet with us today. We
Of course.
appreciate that. Can you
Yes,
give
ma'am.
us just a overview of uh, superview fuels in general, in terms of what your business is about, and what you're planning on doing with the super fuels that you're planning on for our neighborhood?
Yes, ma'am. So, like I said, we have 3 locations currently under the Superfuels brand. We're somewhat new into the business. We've been in operations for about 5 years now, and we're at a point now where we're really wanting to start growing. Um, and I always emphasize like kind of family is like the biggest thing for our company. So all of our employees, they have a lot of input in terms of any sort of new things we may try in terms of how we work and in terms of expanding as well. So for this current location, Sylvia was kind of like the point person and telling us about her past experiences there and kind of the mistakes maybe that the previous owners made, which I think ultimately led to it closing and still being closed, and kind of what are the positives that we have as super fuels that we could probably bring there. Um, so I think an important thing that we do is we're very much heavily invested in like EV. So even though it's a gas station and we typically do 10 MPDs, which is 20 filling stations, we also are starting to do EV charging. We've experimented some with the Tesla superchargers, uh, but now we're going more so the kind of independent route with like third party companies still that have the high efficiency and high the fast chargers, but it allows pretty much any vehicle to charge there, and even Teslas can with like a certain adapter, and that just allows for more people to use it. So essentially, if you have an EV, you'll be able to do a fast charge on there. For the inside of the store, we have the typical convenience store that you would see, along with the gas pumps. But what kind of differentiates us. We do a larger format store, and we do it very nice. Like we put chandeliers, murals, and stuff like that. Usually, the murals depict something in the community, be it the police department, be it community garden, just something in the community that kind of just gives them a thank you and a shout out. And we also emphasize a lot of like fresh fruit and produce, so vegetables, fruit, those sorts of things. Just so it's not your typical like convenience store junk. It gives people a healthier and kind of a fresher alternative to your typical like chips and soda and stuff like that. Along with that, we also do a taqueria, which is kind of just like a higher end taco stand, but it's all inside the gas station, and everything's connected. And in the taqueria, we serve like typical like Mexican foods like tacos, tortas, stuff like that, along with limited like American fare as well, like burgers and chicken wings, stuff like that. All everyone in the kitchen is trained and certified with all the appropriate certifications for the city. So everyone knows how to like handle raw meats and all that sort of stuff. Because that's an important part of it. So we've never had any issues with the health department or anything like that. And then lastly, we also have a laundromat component at the end as well. And typically what we notice is there's a lot of standalone laundromats that are kind of shady and aren't very like safe. So we emphasize safety a lot. So everything's very well lit, everything's connected. We have security around the clock as well. And they just, monitor the inside as well as the outside just to make sure there's no issues or anything like that. And all those security guards are, again, certified and trained. And, it really helps, I think, limit any sort of incidents or anything like that. And so, for the most part, yeah, it's been very problem free. And I think just the constant emphasis on our employees and the safety of our customers is kind of what allows us to stand apart. And like I said, it's been successful so far. And right now, we really are looking to grow. And Sylvia had mentioned that this location, once upon a time did quite well. And I think just towards the end, the owners just kind of lost sight of that. And I think that's what kind of led to it eventually closing. So when I initially brought up the project to Mr. Forsyth, he had mentioned that, because the building was already there, the old Fox, the community was going to probably ask like, hey, well, why don't they just open this one? So I've reached out to the current owners quite a few times actually, just to see if we can just take over that building and just bring that back. But we haven't gotten any sort of definitive answer. It's always just kind of been the runaround and nothing like formally about like, hey, we can make an offer, we can maybe do this or that. So we still are trying there, but all my attempts so far haven't been unsuccessful. And it doesn't seem like whatever company owns it now is just set on leaving it as it is. But like I said, I still am trying, but so far haven't been successful in any attempts to do anything, positive on that front. And then the other thing, the main reason we like this area, Sylvia had mentioned that early on, it did well, but more than that, even she said it was like a big boon for the community. Even her sister used to work there as well. A lot of her friends she went to high school and college with also went there. So whenever we build one of these stores, just for I would say the register area, we have a rotation of about 10 employees. For the kitchen, we have another rotation of about 6 to 8 employees. And then for the laundry, we have another rotation of about 4 employees. And then for security, it's another 4 employees that rotate there as well. So it creates quite a few jobs. And we always just try to hire within the community. And it's twofold. We want to just support the community, and also it's a little bit selfish as well. If people live near the store, it's easier for them to get there, be on time and stuff like that. So it works for them and it works for us. We also have a couple of like suites that usually get rented out to cell phone stores, which also I think they usually employ, I would say, a rotation of about 4 more employees. And same thing, they usually hire within the community. and there's 2 of those, so that'd be 8 employees total. So again, like for us, we want to be a part of the community. Whatever feedback you guys have for us, I'll take it to heart and try to implement it as best as I can. And yeah, I thank you guys for allowing me to just even have this meeting, kind of explain my vision. I welcome your feedback and suggestions and whatever I can do to kind of put you guys at ease and do whatever that you want to be done, get that done. That's my job here. So feel free to ask questions, give me suggestions, anything like that. I'm here to like take notes, learn from you guys, and I think me and Sylvia both will just do our best to kind of answer any questions and do the best we can to meet your goals and needs.
I'd be interested to know why you think the old Fox closed and why you think you'll be more successful.
And Sylvia, you can jump in if you want to respond to this too. You probably have a better idea. So in the beginning, I think there was a certain ownership group that ran it, and I think it switched hands towards the end, and I think they became less focused on employees. I know towards the end, all the employees that were there, and Sylvia, again, you can jump in. They essentially cut everyone's hours and made it so that either you had to quit or they fired them. And I think it was an attempt just to save on cost or just cut hours for people. And there was just huge turnover in all the employees. And I think at that time, that's when Sylvia came over to us, applied, and then started working for us. So
Yeah.
I think the main thing is they just lost sight of their employees. And just being in this business, like I said, for 5 years, I understand that. And my employees are the heartbeat of the entire company. Like without them, I can't really do anything. And for me, I'm not trying to cut costs on employees because I want to pay everyone a livable wage because I just believe in that. And if I don't pay them a livable wage, they're not going to want to continue working for me. So, everyone that works for us, a lot of them have their own families and, have kids and stuff like that. So for me, it's just, yeah, the main priority is I got to pay them a livable wage and, help them whenever I can, if that's more hours, if that's just, help with carpool with other employees. I do everything I can just to support my employees. But Sylvia, sorry, I think I interrupted you, but
Yes.
go ahead.
Yeah. So I used to work for Fox with the first owners for like almost 10 years. And it ran pretty smoothly. It had no problems before, but then it got sold off to a new company. So when this new company came in, they just kept adding newer people so they could pay them less. And it kind of like lowered production because they weren't training them. They were just putting them in as they came. And we let them know they had to be trained beforehand just because sometimes they were going to be there by themselves and they didn't really care to make that a priority. So most of the times the employees didn't even know what to do when it was just them by themselves. And the hours had become less for everybody. Everybody was like they had one employee at the box when there was big lines and stuff like that. And I feel like that's why we lost some customers at the point. There was just not enough employees to be working it just because they were trying to save money. They were trying to give more like they were trying to get the sales, but they weren't trying to pay for the employees to be there. So that's when I started branching out and looking somewhere else, and that's when I started working with Chanel. It's gonna be almost 4 years. I want to say in January to 2021.
Yep,
So
that sounds about right to me.
I've been working with him since then, and it's basically he kind of runs it like how my old boss used to run it, pretty smoothly. Like he says, he does cares about our input. Ask us anything, questions if we need anything. If our schedule needs changing, he's very flexible with that as well. He lets us know that as long as we come with him, like he'll try to make it work around our schedule. And pay wise, I feel like it's pretty reasonable for what we're doing. And so far, no complaints. But I mean, if you have any other questions about that, you can ask me.
Okay, we've been focusing about the employees and the store. I have a couple questions about. I'm not very familiar with the area, to be honest with you, but I just noticed in Google Maps, in less than a 2,000 feet radius, there's 3 or 4 gas stations. There's a few restaurants. So I don't know how your business would serve the community with the offering that you are proposing. Do you have the population that lives in this area has a demand for your services as you are offering them, or is your goal to try to draw people from different areas so that your business can succeed? I've driven through this area. I was actually in that little shop a couple of times, just passing by, and the area looks a little depressed, in my opinion. But then again, I'm not familiar with the neighborhoods and the surrounding areas. So my question, I guess, is in terms of demographics and market feasibility for your business, what type of research do you guys did to pick this location?
Yeah, so I think the best answer to that is the 2 closest gas stations to this area that are open are going to be, there's a Mobile on Polk and 67 on the other side of the highway, and then there's a Shell on Keast and 67. And I would encourage you to try and go fill up gas there or visit the gas station anytime during the day, and I promise you, you will not feel safe. Especially if you're like a woman like Sylvia, because she lives in the area. If she finishes a shift at our store and is driving back home, I promise you, and you can even ask her yourself, she would never stop at either one of those gas stations to fill up gas, especially if it's dark outside, because they're not safe. They have people hanging out, loitering outside of the store. They do nothing to address that. There's people asking for money. There's homeless people. There's just dangerous people that are just selling stuff, doing God knows what, and there's no attention from the ownership to do anything about it. For us, I would never allow that to happen. And again, it's
Okay.
twofold. I think it's selfish in one part because it's bad for business, because I want people like Sylvia and other people in the community to feel safe, to go to my station, fill up gas, even if it's dark outside. If it's dark outside, it's my responsibility to put enough lighting that they won't feel unsafe. If there's people loitering outside trying to sell stuff or ask for money, it's my job to either, as an owner, go out and remedy it, or have security go out and remedy it. Because I can call the police department, but they have obviously more pressing matters to deal with than loitering at a gas station. They may not come for 2-3 hours. They may not come altogether. So it's my responsibility as the owner to either take care of it myself or have a security officer like I do to go out and ask those people nicely to leave. And
Okay.
that's the big difference. So when you say there's gas stations nearby, there may be gas stations nearby, but those gas stations are not serving their purpose. Those gas stations are doing a disservice to the community. And when you say we don't need a gas station in the area, I would argue that you very desperately need a safe, clean place where you can pump gas, where you can get snacks, where you can do your laundry, not just during the day, but at nighttime, because we're open 24 hours a day. So I think we have something that the community likes, would want, and would be a very much an advantageous thing to have in the community.
Mr. D, this is Mary Harrison, and you have truly addressed one of my largest concerns, and has to do with security, with the safety.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And the way you have laid it out, I'm glad that you did that, because it makes me feel a little better about having this type of business, if you will, in our neighborhood. Because
ma'am.
we have issues with, like, for example, the 7-Eleven that's on the corner of Hampton and Ledbetter.
Yep.
We have issues with that gas station. There's all kinds of illegal activity, from the drugs to prostitution.
Yep. And again,
So
and
there,
especially
there
like
will be.
7-Eleven has the money to address it. They just choose not to. Some of these other stores I mentioned, they're small business owners and they don't want to spend the money, which is still not right, but fine, whatever. But especially a 7-Eleven, they definitely have the resources at their disposal, but they just don't want to do it.
Well,
And
you spend your money one way or the other. Now, if you don't address security, well, guess what? There are a lot of people that are not going to come to your business and buy anything either. So you're missing sales.
100%. Like I mentioned, like with someone like Sylvia, if you're a female, young female by yourself, obviously you're not going to feel comfortable like filling up gas there or shopping there. And especially with our store, the laundromat is mostly a family thing. So I think our typical customer in the laundromat is a female with her young children. So I can't operate a business that relies predominantly on young females with their young children if I have people like loitering and selling CDs and asking for money outside. So it's a twofold thing. I think it's a moral and ethical dilemma that like I would feel like a bad person, let alone a bad businessman, if I just let these people feel unsafe and just have an environment where I'm not even proud to like bring my mom to my own business. And also it's a business dilemma as well, that if my customer base is such that I'm wanting families and like a safe environment for them, I have to spend that money, and I gladly do, because in the big scheme of things, it's not a monumental expense. It's just a part of doing business. And we budget for that, expense for that, and it just makes sense for us to do that. And it's beyond me why some of these other businesses don't do it.
Yeah.
You're also going to, my understanding is you're trying to also sell alcohol on the site.
Yes,
How
ma'am.
does that fit into the vision? And
So
in
sorry,
terms
go
of
ahead.
the type of people that alcohol attracts, I mean, kind of
Yeah, that's
contrary
a
to what you're
whole
saying.
other.
Yeah, look, in an ideal world, look, I'm 34 years old. I've never even had one sip of alcohol my entire life.
Sure.
And I can just say that honestly. I don't drink. I don't want to drink, and I never have. Um, but I'm a realist as well. When you have a gas station convenience store, alcohol is a part of it. It's a big part of it. Um, you can't really operate as a gas station or convenience store without the sale of alcohol. Obviously, we want all our customers to enjoy their alcohol responsibly, and everything we sell is going to be for off-premise consumption, meaning you're not allowed to drink anything while on the premises. But it's such a monumental part of the profitability of operating a convenience store. I wouldn't be able to pay my employees as much as I do, have as many employees as I do, pay for security, property taxes, etc., without alcohol. It just amounts
Mm.
to a large percentage of sales, especially on Sundays. Like, and for example, like during the football season,
Mm.
usually the Cowboys play on
Sunday
Sundays.
is your biggest sale for alcohol.
Yeah,
Oh,
yep,
wow.
Sunday
I'm
is, and
sorry.
it's usually
Sundays and
because it's
Fridays.
usually it's during that Cowboys season. It's because of that those games. People that
Okay.
Yeah.
Your sound went away.
Oh, had a question. So I was just gonna say I appreciate
His sound
the
went away. I don't know if he's still with us.
oh
Chanel. I think he cut off. Hold on. Let me
He's
see.
still here, but his sound is out.
hear me? I think I lost you for a second.
There
Okay,
you
there
go.
you are.
yeah,
Yes.
Sorry about that. So yeah, last thing we said was, yeah, so Sunday, like during the Cowboy season, those are big sales. Um and But yeah, just like I said, alcohol is a big part of just a gas station, and it really accounts to a lot of revenue as well, because it's a high price dollar item compared to like Coca-Cola or something like that. So it's just something that the business part of me understands and realizes, in order to, again, pay my employees what I pay them, have the store that I want, I need that extra revenue in order to accomplish those goals. So it's just something that right there, that's more so the business part of me has to take that into account, and that is something that we have to have.
Let's say you were going to say something.
Yeah, so I was gonna say that, kind of echoing what Mary said, I definitely appreciate the focus on safety. And I agree with you about a lot of the other gas stations not having that. Like just personally, the 7-Eleven on Hampton and Ledbetter, I've had experiences where it's like I ran in to go grab something and was approached by like multiple people trying to talk with me and this and that, and it's kind of not the best feeling. And a lot of times it's like I don't even go there after a certain time of day, or I like send my husband instead. So I think that's great, and that you're gonna have security because that's a huge differentiator.
Yeah.
The one concern that I had, if the Fox station that's currently there, like if they don't agree to, sell it to you and that building stays there, right now it's kind of just boarded up, and it makes me a little bit concerned that people might, like, if that stays there for a long period of time, people may try to kind of get in there or like live in there, or you know there might be drugs in there or something. Are you concerned about that, like if you end up building something next to it, that building kind of just stays abandoned in that area?
So I don't know if they still have it, but the ownership group I talked to, I didn't get them directly, but one of the representatives, I know for a while they were keeping security there. And I don't know if it's still there or not. But when I mentioned to them that, we're building next door, more than anything, it was to kind of push them and like, hey, like we're building this exact business. So if you guys have future plans of building here, it wouldn't make sense for you to do that. So one thing is we have there's a mutual access agreement on our property. So that means we would have an entrance from their parking lot essentially. And that's gonna cause them to have to either tear the building down. That would be one option. Sell or lease us the building. That'd be a second option. Or I'm pretty confident that they would have to hire a full-time security as well, because they have that at a few of their other properties. Because even for them, it's the same thing you're saying. They don't want anyone coming in. That's why they boarded everything up, is to prevent that very thing. And I think all three of those options, I think I'm okay with, and I think the community would be okay with, whether we buy or lease it from them, they tear it down, so it's just, there's nothing there to really worry about, just empty land. Or if they have, someone there full time to take care of their property. Yeah, because for me, yeah, I don't want that as well, right? If I'm opening a business next door, I don't want the next door to be junk, right? Because I'm just gonna, it's gonna trickle down over to me. So I'm I've tried my very best to keep very open lines of communication with them, and I'm hoping for some sort of definitive answer from them. And as soon as I get one, I'll definitely share that. But as of right now, those are the kind of the three choices I see that they potentially could make.
Okay.
And what about keeping the property all around clean?
Yeah. So I mentioned the rotation of people I have in the laundromat. So I technically don't need that many just for the laundromat, but I keep extra for that very reason. Usually what I'll do is one person will be in the laundry, one person will be constantly cleaning outside. Because again, that's another thing that goes into like keeping the junk out, keeping it safe and stuff. The more trash and stuff that accumulates, again, I don't have like there's not like a direct correlation to it, but I feel like there kind of is, that if the store looks ugly on the outside, it's going to attract ugly people kind of. So
Well, that's true.
yeah,
That's
and
true.
that's a big part of it. And you guys would not believe how much trash, and Sylvia can attest to this. You would not believe how much trash accumulates just like in half a day. It would blow your mind. Like
No.
it's crazy. I don't know why people just assume a gas station parking lot is a trash can. We have trash cans at every fuel pump. We have trash cans at the front entrance. We have trash cans at the entrance to the laundromat. We have trash cans everywhere, yet people still feel like the entire parking lot is a trash can. So that really, again, forces me to have to pretty much keep someone constantly outside with a little dustpan and broom and just constantly cleaning up. And Sylvia, remind me, right now we do what's it called? That high pressure washing on the parking lot. We
Yes,
do that
every
every
2 weeks.
night, every 2 weeks. Okay. I was
Every
gonna
two
say
Okay.
every
weeks you
month,
do
but
a
I
power
think we upped it to
washing.
every 2 weeks. Yeah, because again, people come to a gas station, you would think, to fill up gas, but for some reason, people who have like oil leaks in the bottom of their car also come to gas stations.
Yeah.
So I think we were doing once a month, but I told Sylvia, I'm like, it's still like it's not enough. And I
It's
think
still
we
pretty
upped it to
visible.
once every 2 weeks or twice a month, however you want to look at it. And it's helped a lot. It's helped a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And they do that
Mhm.
overnight. He usually does it, I want to say between like
And the
midnight and
slower
5
time,
a.m. Yeah.
yes. The slower
And
time with
yeah,
the slower days as well. So it doesn't
yeah,
really disrupt the customers.
yeah. And we do that like starting day one, just because if that oil or a gum or whatever gets on there, if you don't get rid of it quickly, it becomes darn near impossible to get rid of it. So
Yeah.
I start it from like day one, and it just allows it to stay clean. Because even if I clean up all the trash, if I don't do that pressure washing, it still looks dirty because all that oil kind of gums up, and then also like chewing gum is another big one. That sort of stuff, it gets real hard to take off otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so what about community involvement? You're going to be in our community, so are you a good partner, I guess I would say,
So
if
for
we
sure.
needed
So
something?
For sure. So we're always open to that. If there's like if you guys are having like a cookout or something in the community, we have a store in Irving right now, and whenever they do something like that, if it's like a block party or something, we'll always
Mm-hmm.
bring like a couple of trays of tacos, food, whatever they need, drinks,
Oh,
like
okay.
beverages, stuff like that. Um, we work really close to the police department. So in our location in Irving, we have a mural to the Irving Fire Department and the Irving Police Department. And same thing, we work with them pretty closely. Whenever they have like a function or something, a couple of times they've done it just in our dining area, and then other times we'll like take stuff to them. Whenever we can be involved or help, we're happy to do that. Um, and with the police and fire department, again, it's obviously, I respect what they do and it's great, but it's also selfish too, right? It's always positive to have good relationships with them. And even if they don't necessarily need them, like I prefer that, they just swing by just to check things out rather than me have to call them in an emergency, right? I prefer to do everything I can to limit any sort of emergencies where we would need to call the police, and by taking care of it like with our own security and just creating an environment where people just know like, hey, there's no need to like act dumb over here because there's a security officer and there's police constantly driving by just to like eat or just to check things out, not even not being called or anything, just being there part of the community, just if they need fuel, if they need food, etc., like that, just stopping by. But yeah, anything in the community, anything that you guys need from us, if you guys are ever having a cookout block party, we'd be more than happy to participate in any way we can. And again, yeah, like whenever we build a store, we're part of that community, and we want to be a part of that community for the foreseeable future. And whatever we can do to help, be a part of that, we're more than happy and wanting to do that.
Did you say you've been in business for 5 years?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is your long-term goal? What do you foresee as your long-term viability as a business?
So just continue growing. We right now we're in a place, again, it's a family business. It's myself, my older brother, and my dad. We run it all together. Day-to-day operations is really on me. Um, and I love it. Like I love every aspect of what I do. And I just want to continue growing this and just continue the business and continue making it a family business, and just continue growing it as much as we can. We probably had opportunities to grow faster and sooner, but I didn't want to take on more than I felt I could handle. So before we do like a new location or a new store, we're very like, hey, like I'm very conservative in making sure that, hey, I can definitely handle this. I have enough people. Um, and I can grow that network. So yeah, the vision is to like continue growing organically. I don't want to like grow too fast or too quick, but just continue growing and just keep it in the family, and just keep it growing as large as we can take it, but still be like a hands-on operator owner. I don't want to be at a point where like I don't know what's going on at my store on any given day. I'm kind of Sylvia can probably attest to this. So maybe sometimes I'm a little I might over
Involved.
manage, or yeah, over involved. You know what I mean? But I like it. I'm very hands on. I want to know what's going on, and I just enjoy it. I very much do. So because like I'm on the front end and back end. So like I'm also like a realtor as well, or I'm not a realtor. I have my license. So like I'm the one who like finds the location, sees the zoning and everything involved on works. I go to like Jefferson, I go to City Hall. Even on this property, I went to county clerk's office to get like the plat, to get the lien payoffs, all that sort of stuff. So I
Okay.
like I like doing it. It's for me, it's enjoyable, it's fun, and it allows me to learn too, and not just the gas station part of it, but the building part of it, the zoning part of it, the building permit, the health, all of that stuff. I think it just helps me be a better manager, owner, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, so you have 5 locations?
Right now we have 3 locations.
Oh, 3.
Three
And,
locations.
and they are
One is in Irving, off of 161 in Northgate. One is in Central Dallas, Lombardi Lane and Webb Chapel Extension, and one is in
20 and
I don't
St.
know.
Augustine.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be East Dallas, South Dallas, something like that. But yeah, 20 in St. Augustine.
20. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And then we do have a couple more. So this is potentially one of them. We have another one that we're doing in the city of Dallas. Where is that? 175 in Woody, but that's kind of towards Seagoville. And then another one, 635 in Lake June, which is kind of central
Okay.
Dallas. So Dallas is kind of where we're focused. We're looking at some other areas, but right now Dallas is kind of predominantly where we're looking at. And the same thing goes for all of these. We do our due diligence to make sure it'll work. And this is this is kind of different than some of the others, just because with that old Fox station there and stuff like that, that's not like a common thing, obviously. But I really believe in the area. I think the area. I think it would be good for the area, because I don't know. I just find it very unfair that like people can't go fill up gas and get Cheetos without being harassed. I think that's ridiculous. I don't think that's
Yeah.
fair. Just because you live in one part of the city doesn't mean that you should have to accept that. And my goal is, look, I want to build this store, and let me tell you, like, we are super competitive on gas prices. Like, oh, I would consider us like more so like Murphy's or like a Costco Sam's when it comes to like our gas prices. So I try to be ultra competitive. And at the end of the day, if some of these bad actor gas stations end up having to close, I don't see that as a bad thing. Look, I'm not trying to destroy anyone's business or anything, but if you're not running your business right, and at the end of the day you end up having to close because you can't compete or because people don't want to go to you, then that's on you. So I would not consider that the worst thing in the world if some of these gas stations who aren't being run properly, who aren't doing right by the community and their customers, if they have to close, and 5-10 years from now we can get like a Cane's over there instead where that gas station used to be, I wouldn't consider that the worst thing in the world. Am I actively trying to get them to shut down? No, but if I'm building something that's safer and people want to go there, my prices are cheaper, I don't understand why anyone would go anywhere else. So it might be an inevitable kind of factor, and so I wouldn't see that as the worst thing in the world. So that's just something where if that happens, so be it. And it's funny, you guys had mentioned the 7-Eleven over there on Hampton and Ledbetter.
Yes.
We were actually, I've been looking at the property. So they built a new Cane's, and next to Cane's
Right.
they're building a McDonald's. There's a lot behind both of them It's about like 2.5 acres. I was looking at that for another station, but in the end, we just thought it was too much inside. But one of the reasons was, again, I just talked to people. I just literally went to that 7-Eleven and just talked to like customers going in, and I got the same feedback that you guys are giving me about the 7-Eleven on Hampton and Ledbetter. And that's why I thought, I'm like, and even there's like a Fiesta, they have like a small gas station as well.
Yeah.
Same thing. And everyone's just like, yeah, like people bother us when we go in and we don't like it. And so that's why I thought, hey, this might not be a bad location either. At the end of the day, my dad he told me he just thinks it's too inside because it was behind the McDonald's and the Canes. So we didn't move forward on it. I'm still in contact with the broker who has that, but I don't know. I like the area. I thought it was kind of similar to this Poke site in terms of if we can create another like safe store where people want to go to. I think we could pretty much, beat all our competition there. I wasn't too concerned about that. It was more so just the frontage. I digress on that one, but I found it funny when you brought that up, or when one of you guys brought that up.
Yeah. Can I
There was
ask this? And it's not really relevant, but
Mhm.
may I ask what part of the city you live in?
I live in Frisco.
Okay. Okay.
did you want to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to go back to the points you made about the access because when you're exiting off of 67 onto the service road right there at Pentagon Parkway exit, you do have the ability to get into the parking lot at that Fox station, but your station will be kind of back so that you're not able to get to it easily when you exit off of that at that exit there. So I just wanted to clarify, you said you have an access agreement with the owners of that property to be able
Well,
to
yeah.
use
So
their parking area?
whoever did the initial building there of that old Fox station, they they created a mutual access agreement for the entire property, and it's essentially grandfathered in. So it's not something we actively pursued or anything. We just went to the city and all the documentation was there. So whenever they originally built it, they built it in a way so that I guess they had the entire property. So if they ever wanted to develop the rest of the property for whatever business, they would have to have mutual access because, like you're saying, otherwise you couldn't access it. So they'll have to open that up. We'll also have an entrance from the backside, and potentially, if TxDOT allows it, an exit onto 67 on the frontage part of the property. I believe that will go through TxDOT, but and we made them aware of it, the current owners. If it actually got up the ladder to whoever's a decision maker, maybe because it is like a kind of like a conglomerate or corporation that owns it. So I don't think there's one single decision maker. It's essentially it's a piece of property on a portfolio of like tens of thousands. So it's more like and that's why I don't like those companies look at properties and buildings and stuff more like having like a stock in your 401k, right? They don't really, it's not their tangible asset that they care about. It's just an investment in a portfolio. For us, this is like my lifeblood. You know what I mean? Like this is something that I like live, breathe, and I eat, sleep, and like do this every single day of my life.
So are you still pursuing, getting that structure that's at 3603, the old Fox station, or is that you feel is completely, precluded from you as an option?
I wouldn't say I wouldn't say never say never, but I mean so far I've gotten, I guess, mediocre feedback. But again, the mediocre feedback I've gotten isn't from someone who's in a position to make a decision on it. Um, and not to say even one single person is a decision maker on it, but this isn't someone like super high up, on the food chain that could like make the
Close the
decision
deal,
or push for
right?
this. Yeah. So, and it's just I've been unable to get an actual decision maker on the phone to see what their plan is, what they want to do, if they even want to do anything. So as far as I know, it's been closed probably Sylvia, you could probably jump in here, maybe like 2-3 years. Is that right?
No, probably like a year.
Is
I
it just
think
a
I got,
year?
yeah, I think it was earlier this year that I got started, that I got close, all of them.
Okay.
So,
But yeah, ideally, yeah, I still want to pursue that. I think it'd be in my benefit. It'll definitely cut down a lot of time on it, on the project, right? Because we would just need to remodel, fix it up, get the COs and stuff like that. But it would definitely save us time. But just don't know if it's actually doable or not. But my thought process is, if we're to build, I think it'll push them to have to make a decision on it. And more than likely, I think if we do build, I would foresee them having to just tear it down. I wouldn't really see another way around it.
but you're sure that you have this mutual access agreement where people will be able
Yeah.
to exit
Well,
right
and
there
that was the biggest thing, because we're like, without that, it's a non-starter for us, right?
Okay.
And yeah, so we've done our due diligence, and our engineers already kind of given us the green light on that point. And again, ideally, yeah, if we could get that'd be great. But like I said, I've tried for a couple of months now and still haven't gotten any sort of definitive answer. Now with the holidays coming, I'm assuming it would be even more difficult. So I'm not super hopeful, but I always try to be positive on everything. So who knows? Maybe they call me after this Zoom call. They'll call me and be like, "Hey, we got a deal." Who knows?
What is your timeline?
I would say right now is November. I would say if we can get everything through building permit or building wise, like submitted to the city, I would say conservatively, I would say maybe spring or summer. I would say let's call it summer of 2026. We could start construction, and if we were to do that, we would do the SUP submittal for the off-premise beer and wine simultaneously with the construction. So that would be summer of 26, and I think best case could be open first quarter of 27.
And I had a couple of other questions. How many gas pumps are you going to have?
It'll be 10 MPDs, and that's going to be 20 fueling stations.
20 fueling stations, okay. And you mentioned earlier when you started that you're big on EV charging. Are you going to have the EV charging at this location?
Yes. So we do what we do. So we're doing one of the new sites we're doing right now. We just met with Encore, and so we're going to actually have an extra what do you call it? Transformer and power source just for the EV, because it runs on, especially the newer EV chargers. The superchargers, they take a good amount of energy, so you can't really share with the normal energy you're using for the store. It's like a different power. And excuse my ignorance, I forget the exact voltage of it, but yeah, so we have to have a separate transformer, and that feeds straight to the EV chargers. And yeah, and then we're doing that everywhere now, just because it's just a reality moving forward that there's going to be more and more EVs on the road. And one thing you do see is, especially in like lower income demographics, you don't see many EV chargers. And I think even driving around that 67 Polk area, I don't think I've seen any gas station that has them. So I think that's another thing that'll differentiate us, because again, I don't think that's fair. Like, just because you live in a certain part of the town, like you have to drive an extra 15 minutes to charge your car. That's ridiculous. And EVs are getting kind of cheaper and cheaper now, especially the used ones. So it's actually more cost effective in some ways, if you can't afford it, to have the EV. But yeah, that's still a big part of what we're going to do. So we're going to do EVs. Any new station we build, we're going to do them. Yep.
And then the other thing you said early on was that you would have things like fresh produce there, right?
Yeah. So we do, fresh produce, like vegetables and fruits. Yeah, it's always been just an alternative essentially, and we're kind of experimenting with some new things now as well, where like for example like the salsa or guacamole that we make in the taco side of it, like daily, just like putting it into like plastic containers, putting it in a fridge, and just selling it. And we've just experimented with that a little bit, and we usually just whatever they make that day, we'll try to sell it that day. And if it doesn't sell by the end of the night, then we'll just toss it. And we're just kind of experimenting with different things like that, just alternatives to your typical gas station fare. You know what I mean? Because again, like I said, I don't drink, but like I'm very like I don't really eat candy or anything like that either. Like sometimes Sylvia will try to get me to like drink like some of her Starbucks. Even that, I'm like, I don't know, it's too much sugar. So I'm just thinking like selfishly, like maybe there's someone else out there like me, so they want something, an alternative to your typical gas station stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of sorry, question. In terms of well, it sounds like you are very interested in getting engaged with the community, which is one of the reasons why you're here, obviously. So
Yes.
thank you for that. And also in terms of offering or providing a safe haven for the community and probably women in general, and producing a healthy or providing a healthy option of food that you obviously don't get at a regular gas station. You just mentioned, for example, the food that doesn't sell, toss it after hours. So I know that's a very contentious point. It's going around several times. Like the community, for example, is low income. Instead of tossing the food, could there be a program where you kind of like figure out a way to not toss the food away, but then try to help the low income community around you to not waste that food, but then also help the community?
Yeah, that'd be no problem. The main reason I just toss it, 'cause I just don't want, and because especially when you're
Just
dealing with like
liability.
avocado and stuff like that, it can go bad. Even if it doesn't go bad, it'll just turn like black, especially like
Right.
avocado stuff. And that's the main reason. 'Cause I don't want to sell something. But yeah, I'd be more than happy. I also don't want to like offend someone by like giving them like salsa to eat when they like need food, right? So I'm sure there's
Well,
like a middle ground there. Yeah, but like,
yeah,
yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm always open to that. Again, trust me,
there's
I don't want to waste food. And sometimes even if it goes old, I'll eat it. But it's just something that I don't want to like
because
sell something that could be perceived as old or anything like that. You know what I mean?
right.
That's the
So
main point.
Presentation is everything.
Exactly.
Presentation is everything.
right.
So,
Yeah.
And some stores don't also want to give the food away because if someone gets sick, then there could be some potential liability. But then it just made me think, for example, and I agree with you in terms of presentation, making sure the food looks healthy. There's a lot of bakeries. I'm not sure around this area, but there's bakeries that sell the food half price after a certain time of the day, right before they close.
Yeah.
So
And that's something we do. So like usually like we know kind of how much typically we would sell in a day. So we make a pretty limited quantity for that reason. But like towards the end of the night, if we know like, hey, we have like 2 containers left, we'll just usually just put it with a to-go order or something like, towards later at night. And that way it
right.
doesn't get wasted or anything.
Right, because that would also
Yeah,
help the community in that sense, right? Like, well,
exactly.
it's low income community. They know that they might not be able to afford it, but then if they go at the end of the day, they'll get a deal.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So,
and, and
and actually,
before and
about
before, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna say, and actually, our community is pretty much mixed. We have a range of communities within our community. So you have low income
Correct.
people, but we also have high income people. So,
Yeah.
you'll have a very mixed. We have a very mixed community in terms of age as well. We have elderly people that have been here who are retiring here and have been here for 30, 40, 50 years. And then we have young couples and families moving in. So your idea in terms of what you're doing at your this facility is interesting. I'm curious about the design of
Hmm.
the facility and what kind of input we as a community will have in terms of that community mural you're talking about putting on the wall.
Oh yeah, like we're not married to any like single idea. Usually, it's the same guy that does it for us. He's been doing it for us in all our locations. He's very talented. We usually give him like 1 or 2 things. Like for example, in Irving, we're like, hey, we want the fire department, and the police department. And for the rest of them, usually we just tell him to just like give us some ideas. So I think over there he did one with like the Dallas Mavericks with like Dirk Nowitzki like shooting a shot. He did one of like the Dallas Cowboys. He's done one of like like downtown Dallas, the skyline. So it's really, yeah, like we have complete control over it. And yeah, we're 100% open. Like we could even have like the community vote on it. We could have like, I don't know, like
Okay.
high school kids like do some drawings and like, you know, the winner will like be muralized or something like that. Like, yeah, I'm completely open to it. It's just, I want to do unique things. I don't want to just do the same thing. If I've done like Dallas Mavericks and Dirk Nowitzki at one, I don't want to do it again. I want to do something unique and different at all of them just to differentiate it and make it that community's or that area's own kind of, you know?
Well, what
So
So yeah,
about the
that kind of,
the
building? What about
structure
the buil-
in terms of your structure, do they all look the same if I were to drive by any of them? I
Okay.
would recognize the facility. Is that kind of the
they
idea?
look similar. So we did take some inspiration from some of these older Fox stores. So I think for this store, if we were to build it here, um, even though I'm pretty sure if we did build it, they might tear it down. I think here we would probably try for a different architecture style just to differentiate more so. But in the previous ones, if you go drive by them, yeah, it'll definitely look similar to this Fox store, but like in its heyday, right? When it was before it was closed and all that. But I think
Mhm.
over here we would probably go for a more kind of a different style just to differentiate it, make it more unique, make it stand out. And yeah, so I think over here we would. But I think the inside, the guts of it would still be similar.
Okay, but if you're having to build, can we see what the design will be before you build it?
Yeah, yeah. So like we have to do all of that in our like initial like planning and everything with the city. So yeah, we would have all of that way before we actually go like start construction.
But would you
Okay.
be open to community input on that?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Not a problem at all.
Okay.
We are we've been at we're at 1 hour, and I want to respect everyone's time. Does anybody have any more? I do want to say I like the idea of involving community in the mural and involving our high school and our children. If you're going to be involved in the community, I would really like to see some kind of an outreach to the community and not just show up as a business. So I'm glad you're open to that kind of thing. Does anybody have
Yeah.
any last questions before we finish? Go ahead, Tom.
Chanel, would you be open? Our next neighborhood association meeting is in March, right? Cynthia, would it be
It's in
appropriate?
February.
It's in February. Could we invite Chanel to join us to give us an update in February?
Yes, we
Yeah.
can.
Hey, that'd be great. Yeah. That'd be fun. Maybe Sylvia, if you're free, you can come with us too.
Yeah, sure. I'm open to it.
Right. We'll make sure to get the information to you, the time and place for our meeting in February.
Okay.
That'd be
All right.
great.
Does anybody else have any questions before we close?
I have a quick one if I could.
Yes.
I realize that, we want to stay positive on all this, but having a boarded up station, right, station, is that not a business issue? I mean, I would, if I was driving along, especially out of town, and I looked over to get gas and I saw a gas station next to one that was all boarded up, I think I'd be kind of like, well, probably not that one. So I guess that's my concern.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to ask, can we do something, or can you guys do something as a community, or can the city of Dallas, maybe Tom, do something to like force them to do anything? I'm assuming the answer is no, because maybe something would have already been done, but is there something that can be done?
It's a long-term process.
Okay.
They would have to have abandoned that property for a while before we as a community could do anything, before the city attorney would take any action. So, I mean, we can't complain, but as long as they are maintaining it and doing whatever code requires them to do, there's not much we as a community can do about that.
Okay.
We have been successful at having properties torn down, but it has been a long process in terms of getting that.
Gotcha.
They
Yeah,
would
and
have to be
yeah,
really, really negligent on their part in terms of upkeeping that
Yeah.
property and not following code.
Yeah. And my main thing is, I think if nothing else, if we build there, I think it'll hopefully force their hand to do something, to make a decision one way or the other. And I think it's good. I think it'll just show people that, hey, even though otherwise this building's just going to sit here abandoned for, who knows how long. If nothing else, I think this might show other business people in the community that, hey, even if it's here, we can still build something new and be successful, rather than just let this abandoned building kind of, ruin that entire corner for the, next decade or whatever. So again, I'm with you guys. Whatever we can do, to just kind of, bring business into that part of that corner, I want to do. And if this helps, maybe make those guys make a decision one way or the other, hey, that's even better.
Okay.
Maybe
by the time-
I'll bring up your concerns to Maxie Johnson, because I think, that would be something that, maybe be good for him to have some visibility to, that's a potential issue, and see what he might be able to do at the, city level.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate that.
Mhm.
All right, everybody. Thank you for attending. Thank you, Chanel and Sylvia. We appreciate the conversation and all the information. You've given a pretty positive presentation. We are concerned about the alcohol sales at your facility, but you've given a good explanation for why that's necessary.
And just to interrupt you real quick, I added my my cell phone number in the chat. So if anyone individually wants to reach out, has any more questions, wants to talk privately or anything, feel free. That's just my direct cell number. You can text me, call me. Again, I want to be as transparent, open as possible. Whatever other kind of concerns, maybe you didn't feel comfortable sharing it here, you want to talk to me, feel free. Again, whatever I can do to help make this easy and beneficial for everyone, I'm open to it. So just feel free. I put it in the chat. If you didn't get it, Tom should also have my direct number as well. If you can reach out to him, but hopefully everyone just saw it in the chat.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Everybody have a nice, safe Thanksgiving. And maybe in 27 we can buy some fresh vegetables from
You got it. That's a deal. That's a date right there.
All right. Have a good day,
thank you,
everybody.
everyone.
Thank you all for
Thank you for having us. Have a good day.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.